Let me make 4 key points to you, and we are either going to get an administrative response or we're going to get a legislative response. I prefer that it be an administrative response that we can work together, but if it has to be legislative, so be it. We have a standard, in my view, that is stacked against a process and a standard that is stacked against policyholders. There are uneven penalties for underpayment versus overpayment. There are uneven incentives as it relates to underpayment versus overpayment. I don't want anybody getting a dime that they shouldn't get. By the same token, I don't want a policyholder who's done the right thing for 10, 20, 30 years in some cases, getting lowballed simply because the process is stacked against them. So we've got to figure out a structural effort to create a greater balance. Secondly, you know, if the policyholder has to live by deadlines, so does FEMA. And if FEMA can't live under those deadlines, then the policyholder should have the opportunity to have the same period of time that you can't live by extended, so that they don't have their rights foreclosed. I think to have the expectation that an average citizen is, you know, Perry Mason is totally unacceptable. And so, you know, I think there's a double standard, and that's not a double standard that we should have. Disaster victims already have enough challenges as they deal with this question. Number 3, we got to get this data, help you get this data system running, because we can't know, and I don't know how it is that, you know, claims, the numbers of those who are appealed, the numbers who successfully appeal, the numbers that litigate and successfully appeal. I can't tell the size of this problem and whether there is a systematic problem or just an occurrence problem. We need to get that. We need to get that straight. And we need a flood insurance advocate who not only is dealing with the immediacy of rates and flood maps, but is an advocate as to the totality of what happens to someone in flood insurance. And I think in that, hopefully we are in agreement listening to your comments. You know, it's just simply wrong from my perspective that we have a system when not one Write Your Own in 40 years has ever been kicked out of the program because they consistently lowballed policyholders. Now, maybe they're all doing a great job, but every time I hear these hundreds of cases, I think something is wrong. So we'll look forward to working with you. I do want to applaud you in the aftermath of Sandy. You were on the scene, you were engaged, your people were fantastic. But once the storm went aside and the immediacy, this program is what for a lot of people is their lifeline. The difference between being able to get back in their homes and not being get back in their home. Doug Quinn, who is one of my constituents, is a Marine. He served his country honorably. He did the right thing. He paid his policies. He didn't ever make a claim until Sandy came along. To step into his home as I did this past Monday and to see that now, so much time after Sandy, he still can't live there with his daughter is just not acceptable. Not acceptable. So I hope we can work together to make this right. In the absence of that, we'll see a legislative response to it.
Senator, as I owe you, I'll do as much as I can administratively, and when I hit the walls where the attorneys tell me I can't go any further, I will communicate to you that I've hit a wall and I need your help.
If you need legislative responses, you let me know, and we will be deducing our own. But if you need legislative responses, I am always willing to pursue it. We've got to make this program right.
As you helped us with Bigot Waters, when you asked me the question and I told you I hit the wall, you were willing to step forward on what had to be done to change that law. So again, my history is when I can't get to where you think I need to be, I want to let you know. We may not agree to the reasons, but if my attorneys or my programs are not able to go any further, I need to be upfront with you that I don't have a way forward. It may require legislation. But as much as I have the administrative ability, I will continue to work.
We are ready and able and willing to go, and we will do so if you bring us information, or in the absence of seeing a change that creates a greater equity in this process, we will do it ourselves.